Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. So, what is the downsizing process? How do you downsize? So, many of you are either contemplating downsizing this year or you've already decided to do so. The primary motivators for people to downsize or right size to a smaller home, the motivators are typically just wanting that simpler life with less stuff, less stress, less upkeep, and more manageable. That was certainly my reason when I downsized from a very large home to my tiny little jewel box apartment here in Philadelphia. And frankly, life has never been easier or more fun. So a second reason is to reduce costs and, to make a house more affordable, to use that money on things that matter more to you, like travel, education, whatever it is, but, to reduce the housing expense. Then the third is age-related or health-related. So certainly as we age and those stairs become less and less maneuverable, as safety becomes a bigger issue in your life, that desire for the one-floor living, it really rises to the top. And then a fourth reason is to move closer to your family and your grandchildren. This is somewhat age-related as well, to be closer to the grandchildren so you can see them grow. And then the empty nest stage of life, when the when the children are grown, and that big house, you don't use all those rooms. You don't want the bigger house, you don't need it, and you want a simpler lifestyle, a different kind of lifestyle. So regardless of your motivation for downsizing or right-sizing, people are asking me all the time because downsizing is overwhelming. I don't care how you look at it, it's just overwhelming. And people ask me, how can I make downsizing easier and still have it really work? And is there such a thing? And I said, yes, there is. And so when I was downsizing several years ago from 5,000 square feet to 867 square feet, I too was overwhelmed. And I remember thinking, I have no idea where to begin, how to start this process. But as a designer for over 35 years, we're designing a building, and you have to have design processes to break these bigger projects down into smaller projects to make them much more manageable. So that's when I created what I call the ABCs of downsizing. It's a design process, it's a strategy, bringing only the things with you that you love, and that you want, need, or will use. To get started, if you buy 3 packages of sticky notes, all different colors, and these will be used to identify the items that you will take with you, you'll donate, you'll dispose of, or you'll sell. And let's just call the hot pink stickies the A. The A items are those items that you cannot live without. You love them. You're definitely taking them with you. You want them, you need them, and they serve a purpose in your life. The B items are those things that you really do like and you would like to take with you if they fit, if they serve a purpose, and if they look good in the new space. And then C items are those things that you don't want, you don't use, you don't need, and it's time for them to go. So after you understand what the A, B, C's are, and you have the colored stickies, walk through your home and each area mark the A items, those pieces that you really want to keep and that you would like to take with you. And if possible, take all of these A items and put them into one area of that room so that then you can start to see the C items and the B items a little bit more clearly. The C items are those things that you don't want anyway, so it's time to get rid of them. Mark the C items, and as soon as you possibly can, remove them from your home, ideally immediately. So donate, sell, give them away, or discard them. And you're already going to see progress once you get rid of those C items, because the house gets, more and more open and easier to see. And then the B items. Now, the reason I did B last is because these are a little bit more difficult, because you'd really like to take them with you, but they may or may not fit. It may crowd the space, or it might look good. So, but mark those with a certain color sticky. So the next step is to create a spreadsheet of all A, B, and C items. This will help you keep track of, it is particularly good for move-in day, where A, B, and C, C are gone, but A and B go. Measure those and photo those, and then we'll use this document when you get ready to move. And then the third step is, if at all possible, measure the new space. And I granted that, you may not even know where you're going to move yet, but let's just say you're moving from a 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom home to a 2-bedroom apartment. It is pretty easy to guesstimate how much you would be able to take in that particular case. If you need help with that, there's certainly floor planners applications online, or certainly just give me a call and I'd be glad to help you with that. But if you can measure those spaces thoroughly, create a dimension floor plan, and then you're going to plot all of your A items in and all of your B items that you would like to take. And what's going to start showing up now is what works and what doesn't work. It's going to show you that some of those B items you'd really like to take are not going to be able to be taken, and either you give them away or discard them. So it also helps you to start visualizing what your space will actually look like, so you can now see where your sofa is, what that looks like in your end tables. And it's also going to help you identify pieces that you might need. So for instance, smaller kitchen table, a queen size bed versus a king size bed. All of this shows up on a dimension floor plan. So the ABC design process of downsizing will help you have more confidence that what you bring with you will actually fit, it'll look good, and it'll make your new, smaller home much more practical for you. This has been used by many of my clients. I've used it myself, so I know that it works, and I'll be anxious to hear from you what you think when you use the process. But before I start my video today, I'd like to share a few other tips with you that will help you on your downsizing journey. It's a little bit more about the process. Number one is to declutter before you downsize. This might seem obvious, but it's not always the case. But the question becomes, why would you pack things that you're not going to use or want or need? So declutter first. And this is a perfect opportunity for you to let your family and friends know that you're going to be downsizing. It's an opportunity for you to say, would you help me? And then as they're helping you, if you have a C item in there that you haven't gotten rid of yet and they want it, well, then have them take it with them. So it not only helps you get rid of some of that stuff, but it also helps them because they might want it or need it. And this also works really well for family heirlooms. A piece that you would like to pass on to family or friends. If they want it, need it, and can use it, let them get rid of it. Let them remove it from your home. It's also an opportunity for you to, get a lot of pleasure out of knowing someone else is using something that might have meant something to you in the past, but no longer does. It's also an opportunity for you to tell a story about sentimental pieces that you are now ready to get rid of. Tell the story about why that means so much to you. And not only that, passing on the things that matter to you, those create memories, and those stories will live for a long, long time. The second thing I'd like to share with you is to eliminate items from rooms that you now have in your bigger home that you will not have in your smaller home. So if you have that 4 or 5 bedroom home, you may well have a large dining room, a dedicated formal dining room, a dedicated formal living room. Well, does that dining room, that everything looks good now, the large table, the hutch, the sideboard, are those going to look good in your smaller space? And the answer is probably not. So what can you eliminate that will then fit and be better scaled for the smaller space? So you might choose to keep the table, or maybe keep your kitchen table instead because it's smaller. Another example of a room that you might now have in your larger home is a large living room, formal living room, or a large family room, and the furniture might be well scaled to those larger rooms. But what you might want to do is to choose some of the smaller pieces, a love seat as an example, or smaller chairs that will be better suited for your smaller space. And then the third area, that oftentimes in a large home you have 1 or 2 or 3 guest bedrooms, and you have a lot of beds, and obviously you don't need that many beds, so eliminate the ones that you don't need. And then you may have to scale from a king size bed in your master to a queen size. But all of that has to do with eliminating items from rooms that you now have that you won't have in your new smaller space. And last but not least, in the process of downsizing to a simpler lifestyle with less stuff and less stress, only bring the things that you really love, that matter to you, and that function. And then just knowing, and this is the funny part about downsizing, is that a smaller home forces you to make these kinds of decisions. Decisions you don't have to make when you live in a large home and you have a lot of rooms to put all this stuff. But when you downsize, these decisions become more and more important. So if you want to know more about the downsizing process, if you need assistance, please reach out to me. I do offer a 30-minute complimentary call. Go to my website, Rita Wilkins, at ritawilkins.com. I'll be glad to share any expertise, or talk you through problems that you might be having. And then another thing is, on our website, Rita Wilkins at ritawilkins.com, if you would like to look at some of our blogs, we have over 450 blogs, everything from interior design, kitchens, bathrooms, so forth, to downsizing, decluttering, and lifestyle design. I hope that this helps, and I look forward to talking to you sometime soon.